to get into more detail about this book, this is some of the things that I'll be doing that I've learned throughout reading this book. So one of the big things that this book talks about is the 4-letter word deal. Now, for the word deal, it stands for definition, elimination, automation, liberation. And for the definition, it's replacing self-defeating assumptions, things that you think badly of yourself or thought up, and you just got to stay in a positive mindset. Elimination is for time management, learning to ignore the unimportant, to be able to focus on the most important things, keep your priorities in check. Automation, learn how to put cash flow on autopilot, always be able to provide yourself a steady income. And then liberation, create freedom of location, being able to do the job that you want while also being mobile and being able to do things that you want to do. Alright, so the first thing that I'm going to be starting off to do for the first week is the word deal, the 4-letter word that I was brought into on the last slide. So deal, the first thing I'm going to do is the definition, which is replace self-defeating assumptions. That's what I'm going to be doing. Anything that I feel that's negative towards me, I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to think about the positive. And that's what I'm going to start off doing. And adding on to the last thing I was talking about, I will also be doing elimination this week. And what that means is that I'm going to forget time management and I'm only going to deal with the real things that matter. Kind of let the unimportant things, like little stuff, like kind of get away and mainly focus on my most important things I need to focus on. And just a little side note for week 1, both of the things that I was doing for this week, they would both be found in chapter 1. And the first one is going to be chapter 1 on page 7, and the second one's going to be on chapter 1, page 12. So, for week 1, what I've been feeling, what I've been noticing through the stuff that I said I was going to do. So the first thing I said was replace all self-defeating assumptions. Anything I thought bad of myself. This has probably been one of the best weeks I've ever had, because all I did was focus on the positive and it was great. There was nothing bad to think about. If you always focus on the positive, you'll become a positive person and you'll do positive things. It just works that way. Now, the second thing I was going to do on the first week was elimination. I was going to get rid of all the little tiny stuff that doesn't really matter in everyday life and just kind of like cut it out and put it to the side. Still doing those things, but making sure that you could do them all in a quick manner real quick. So what I've experienced from doing this for a week is that I'm able to get a lot of the important stuff done very fast and way more efficiently than I did before. And all the small stuff that didn't really matter, like laundry, just regular basic everyday stuff, grocery shopping, stuff like that, maybe with your parents, I was able to still do those things, but in a different manner and really fast, because I do those things every day, but just at a faster pace in a small amount of time. And I was just able to get more stuff done during my week, and it worked out to become better in my situation. Now in this book, what I'm going to follow is instead, throughout my life, but starting now, I could take mini retirements. Now what I'm going to take from this now is, since I'm in high school, I only have a 30-day project, I'm going to work on getting a lot of work done really fast at one time, and then rest. Work hard, rest, and just keep that going. Not always working hard, at least having one other day to be able to rest. Alright, so end of week 2, and what I've noticed between what I've been doing all week. So what I've noticed, the big impacts that have impacted me the most are that I've been a lot more happier and more willing to be able to get my work done because I have that extra time to be able to rest. And so in doing so, I've been able to do a lot better at the stuff I do with my job and the social media stuff I'm going to be doing with investments. And I've just been able to get on top of things, be able to think more clearly, and not always bugging on the same thing, work every day. I got a day to be able to rest, chill out, and then the next day be able to work hard, get all that hard work done, rest again. And you need rest in your life. I've noticed that when you have the rest available at your hands, it makes life so much more enjoyable. You're able to enjoy the actual things that we have in life, so you're not always focused on work 24/7. You're able to see the world, you're able to do things, you're able to experience things, and that's one of the things that I love about this book the most. Alright, so week 3. So in week 3, I will be emphasizing my strengths and not fixing my weaknesses. So I'll be more focused on enhancing my strengths instead of just focusing on the weaknesses, because he said that in this book, if you focus more on the positive than the weaker side of things, you'll become better over time. And you shouldn't work on the weaknesses because they're very small amounts of improvement, when if you did it to your best ability and actually did stuff that you actually are really good at, you'll be able to grow and potentially get way higher than you would if you did something you didn't really like. So for week 3, I'm doing strengths and weaknesses, and to find where I found this information was in my book on chapter 5, page 54. Alright, so end of week 3, and so far, what I've felt throughout this entire experience, just from this week of emphasizing my strengths and getting away my weaknesses and not really focusing on them, I could tell I became a lot more positive. I was a lot more happy. There's nothing really bad to focus on, because if you're always focused on the positive, there's nothing really bad to focus about. Also that I've noticed that, just being more productive, wanting to do more. Even from last year when I could relate this from now until last year. All this stuff I'm doing right now, I was not doing last year, my junior year at all. And I gotta tell you, I was a completely different person. You talk to me, I didn't want to do nothing. I just wanted to lay in bed all the time. So this book is teaching me a lot of important things, and I'm probably going to grasp onto these things for a very long time. Alright, this is week 4 of my 30-day project, and on week 4 I will be doing automation. So for this week, in the book, it says that any tasks that are pretty easy to do, that are mundane, and you can get other people to do them for you, do that. To become the new rich, you need to have people do things for you in a job environment. So I'm going to be trying to do that and see how it works, and I'll update you guys at the end of the week. Now, just letting you guys know on the side that automation, I found this on chapter 8, page 96. Now, in conclusion, for everything that I've learned from this book, one of the most important things that I've learned from this book is this quote right here that he said. He said, "Anyone can escape the deferred life plan, which the author labels as a fragile collection of a socially reinforced illusions. His greatest fear is a tolerable and comfortable existence, doing something unfulfilling." Now, what I've learned from this book and what I can take from it for the 30 days that I've done this project is do what you want to do in your life. You don't have to do the diverted life plan that everyone has been brought on the table to do. Yes, it's the normal thing that everyone else does. Most of society does do it that way, but you can change and you can do it differently if you want to. And this book gives you information on to be able to do that. This book has also helped me with time management. Now, for the end of this book and the conclusion, if I had to take two things that I would think that were most important in this book, these are the two things that I would pick, and these are the most important that I think that would help you in anybody's future. First one, starting at an interest and energy cycle. So basically cycling back and forth from work and rest. That is super important and you'll become way more productive. The second one is emphasize strengths and don't fix weaknesses. Always focus on your strengths and build them up, because you will be able to build up them way faster than you would if you were fixing your weaknesses, because those show slow growth over time, especially during his data that he's put into the book. Thank you.